Mother, how long have we been traveling?
Approximately 24 days.
Ash? Any suggestions from you or Mother?
No, we're still collating.
I've got access to Mother now, and I'll get my own answers. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Clara, but you can call me Mother. And you are listening to Yutani, the podcast for all things alien, AI, robotics, sci-fi, and technology.
Hello, my name is Clara, but you can call me Mother, and welcome to another episode of the Yutani podcast. Today I've got a special guest with me who I've been trying to chase up, it seems like forever, Nick from Hybrid Network. Hi Nick, how are you?
Doing well. I'm glad to finally be on the podcast. I know you have been trying to get me since like February, I think, actually.
Yeah, I've just been busy and you've been busy and things have been happening, but it's cool now. Now we've all caught up and we get to find out a bit about you and your show and what you do.
So I am the director of content for Hybrid Network, and essentially it's just like a digital media outlet. You know, we cover movies and TV, everything pop culture, beyond Alien. But I did have like a specialization in, you know, the Alien Predator stuff, so that's basically what I do.
That sounds pretty cool. I've seen your stuff on YouTube. I think it was my first introduction to you, and watching a lot of your stuff and your news, and I was like, wow, how do you put together a video? How long does it take to research content and do all of this stuff to release a video of yours?
It depends, really. It probably takes like an hour or two. I think it's not too taxing, I think, because, you know, it probably took longer in the beginning, but I've kind of, you know, learned the software and stuff I use. I use Adobe Premiere, for anyone wondering. So that's kind of, I think, standard for a lot of people, but yeah, it doesn't take too long, I think. Is
there anything that you've kind of found challenging in the stuff that you do, like either through videos or articles or anything like that?
Not particularly. Sometimes it's like hard, I guess, to discuss certain things because it's just sort of like, you know, you're so like into it or whatever. Like I remember like when Covenant had come out and stuff, and I was like, so like it was kind of bummed, like a bummed out moment, because I'm like, man, like I really wanted this movie to like be what I wanted it to be, and then it wasn't, and then I had to kind of talk about the movie for like another couple months afterwards, you know. Just kinda...
Oh yeah, I can relate to that because I hated the movie when it first came out. And it was part of that hate that kind of drove me to start my blog and this podcast. And after analysing the shit out of it, I actually came to enjoy it. And now it's like one of my favourite Alien films. Mm-hmm. I think I'm just a sucker for punishment.
Well, I mean, like, I still watch, like, some of the, like, ones that people really hate, like Requiem and, you know, like Resurrection or whatever. But those are just kind of, like, guilty pleasures, I guess. It's just like
Resurrection's all right. Like it's a happier movie than Alien 3. I actually rate Resurrection above Alien 3. How about you? How do you rank all the movies?
It's tough because for me the first two are kind of like on equal terms, and then after that I'd probably say like Alien 3, Prometheus, and then like probably Covenant, and then Resurrection's the worst, I guess.
So Covenant's near the bottom for you. Wow.
Yeah.
How long have you been into these movies? Was it since you were a kid or a bit more recently?
No, it was definitely part of my childhood for sure. I think I was probably first exposed to the franchises maybe when I was like 8 or 10 or something. I remember watching all of them like in order because my dad had grown up with them, obviously. My dad actually had the original Big Chap toy, you know, the big doll or whatever.
Oh, the Gentle Giant, yeah.
Yeah. So I think I still have that somewhere in my storage or whatever, but it was definitely, the franchise has always kind of been, you know, part of my life and stuff. And I remember growing up and getting the old Kenner toys and stuff and, you know, having the comics and everything. So I've always been like intimately involved with the kind of expanded universe and stuff.
That's cool. Which variation of the Alien do you think is your favorite?
Like in terms of like the wacky ones they did in the toys and comics and stuff?
Well, yeah, any of them. Which is your absolute favorite out of all of them?
Oh, man. That's a tough one.
If we're including Kenner, I quite like the flying alien queen.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool. I would probably have to say the Alien King, or the Rogue from the comic.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
AVP Galaxy has done a video on the Alien King. Yeah.
Yeah.
What aspect of it do you like that sets it apart from the rest? Its capabilities? Its incapabilities?
Yeah. It's probably just the look, and just because it's like, it was just one of a kind, you know? It was like, it's very unique, and it's probably the one that I've always wanted to see in some kind of media, whether it was like a movie or like a comic, another comic, or, you know, something. Even a game skin or something would be cool, but...
Yeah. Did you like the Protoss figure that was released of the Alien King?
Yeah. I don't have any of the King as like a toy or anything like that, but I'd like to get one.
Cool. Well, everybody who's listening, who likes Nick, maybe just pop him a gift over for Christmas, an Alien King toy. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Isn't there like they make like a stack sheet that's like $5,000 or some ridiculous like...
Yeah, I heard about that, but I haven't followed it up, to be honest. The King is not one of my favourites, so I must admit. My absolute favourite, not including the Kenner toys, would have to be the runner from Alien 3. I absolutely fell in love with that alien. So yeah. About your channel and the alien universe, what's been going on? Like, you released that article just recently, and you said you'd gotten a hold of an Empire magazine advancement. Is that correct?
So it's the Empire Classics Alien special. It's out right now. Mm-hmm. I think it came out, I want to say it came out this week or last week, but I finally got it.
I think it was last week, yeah.
Yeah, because I had to order it from the UK, because I don't know if any of my local places had it, so I just ordered it, and then I picked it up and just flipped through it, and apparently, yeah, like, spreading this information is like wildfire now. Everyone's talking about it. I'm like, okay.
Do you think this information is anything new or special or something that we should pay attention to?
It doesn't necessarily seem fully new, but it kind of reaffirms and like confirms things that people had speculated. You know, like I remember Ridley did confirm around when Covenant was released that the engineers would be back and stuff, but like the magazine basically said directly like, yes, they're coming back, they want David, and you know, they're going to go to the planet, which I think everyone kind of thought would be LV-426, so it's good to get some kind of clarification on that stuff.
That's for sure. Now, I know some people may not be as, I don't know, in depth about the sort of science behind Alien and stuff like that, but I've done a few calculations, and it doesn't make sense that the colony ship Covenant would take 7 years to get to Aragai 6. If we're assuming Aragai 6 is definitely LV-426, then why would a ship of lower quality, like a refining vessel as the Nostromo, take 10 months to get to the same spot?
Mm-hmm.
At least I think it's like between 42 and 45 times the speed of light. But we're talking about a mining vessel compared to the colony ship Covenant. You know, there's discrepancies in the distance when it comes to the science of it. Do you think that maybe they were talking about a different planet, or maybe talking about the engineer's planet, which is Planet 4?
For the article part, or?
That's correct, the article.
Possibly, but it's kind of hard to say. Who knows at this point?
And Ridley has said many things in the past that have either not come true, or we were misled, or he may have been confused in the line of questioning. We will never really know. So I guess we just have to kind of take things as is and kind of fill in the gaps.
Yeah, definitely.
Guess what he's talking about. Now, apart from this article, has there been any other alien news that you've heard about that you can share with people that you've reported on?
The last stuff that we had talked about, I think, was the Blomkamp film. There was, I remember Sigourney Weaver talked about, I think it was with THR, and she said that there's a chance that film could still happen at some point, maybe, like when they're when both of them are done with whatever movies they're currently doing. So, I mean, that would be kind of cool to see. I think the franchise is kind of in like a holding pattern, though, with the whole Disney stuff happening, so...
Yeah, that's true. And I think they said that they were just going to go on... Well, at least Fox said that they were going to do business as usual until Disney take over fully. So it would make sense that they would make some sort of announcement before that sort of thing is finalised. But at the same time, they could be putting themselves at risk to not be able to deliver on something as big as another Alien movie or Alien 5, which is the Blomkamp project. Do you think there's going to be an announcement next year?
It's possible. I think that the Disney acquisition is supposed to close by March, I want to say, or somewhere around there. So, Alien Day is traditionally in April, and I think Disney is doing some sort of like a big investor meeting in April to talk mostly about their streaming platform. So maybe there could be an announcement. I remember hearing also the whole Alien TV series thing or streaming series thing, whatever that was going to be, that they would possibly hold it for an Alien Day announcement in 2019, because I think that would be the 40th anniversary. Is that right, or is that?
Yeah, that's correct. The 40th anniversary of Alien.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. I have heard things because, I'm not an official outlet. I'm a blog. So I hear things too, but, I'm not allowed to report on it. But I can confirm that I did hear about the TV series as early as Alien Day, and that there has been talks about concept art and other things as well, but I do not know whether it's related to that particular project. So we'll just have to see, unfortunately. I really hate how they kind of leave us hanging, like the fan base is slowly choking each other to death on what they want, Blomkamp's movie or Ridley's movie. If the fact that they're going to give us both plus a TV series, can't they just say it so that people stop, threatening each other?
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, it's weird how like it was so. It felt like when Covenant was coming together and then the Blomkamp thing, it's like it felt like Fox was like, okay, we can only do one of these. It's like, why not just do both? I mean, that's the whole idea of an expanded universe,
Yeah, I think it's because, well, this is my personal opinion, I think it's because it's going to be really hard to have two creative directors with different aesthetics, with stories that won't retcon each other. Because Ridley's working on the prequels, so whatever he determines will become canon on the other end, and then Blomkamp would have to work with those canon changes.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, being on the other end, he also has the freedom to kind of make the xenomorph different. And we've seen that in the designs for Alien 5 with the four arms, which looks like a combination between the Queen and the drone, the big chap, right? Do you think that they would have been able to kind of juggle these two movies realistically if the stories were to be so planned out? I mean, it just seems really choppy and changey. The last movie, even though I love it, Alien Covenant, was a bit of a mixed bag. Do you think Fox would have had the capability of managing two movies with two aesthetics differences, with two different stories and two different directors?
I would think so, only because they're so far apart, I guess, in the timeline. Alien, or the Blomkamp Alien would have been, what was it, like 100 and something years after the prequels. So I think there was enough leeway that they probably could have just been in their own lane, I think, and they would have been fine.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think that perhaps Disney would be the better studio to be able to manage something like that, because they've done that with Star Wars. Yeah. Star Wars has been a bit hit and miss for me. I wasn't a big fan of The Last Jedi, but I did love Rogue One. How about you?
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of the Disney movies thus far with the Star Wars stuff, but I am really looking forward to the series that they're doing, The Mandalorian. That looks really cool.
Yeah, that really does look good. And maybe that's why they're thinking of doing this television streaming series. It's easier to manage than a film.
Yeah.
And things can be changed along the way. And there have been successful entries into science fiction TV series such as The Expanse and even Westworld. I think if they get the right writers and the right creative directors that kind of dictate where the story is going, Alien may see a breath of new life.
No, definitely. I mean, I would personally love to see the series thing. Another thing I'd actually like to see too is them do animated stuff with Alien. I think that's long overdue.
Yeah, they've done really good stuff. There's really great animation houses out there, even if they don't do it in-house but do it in one of their subsidiaries.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a possibility for success, and it's a good way to kind of introduce it to a new generation.
Yeah, like a kids cartoon, like Alien, an Alien kids thing.
Not really a kids cartoon. There's some really good, at least adult-ish or adult stylized horror and violence animes. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. I was actually thinking, I was talking to, this is another person that we know, Hicks, actually, from AVP Galaxy. I was talking to him about doing something in the Alien universe, kind of like Halo Legends. I don't know if you've seen that. It was like an anime
yes. Really good.
compilation. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be great. I would love that. Do you think that there could be any room for those two different aesthetic differences in the Alien universe? Because we both know that the Aliens part seems to be the one that, generates money through the comics, and possibly that might be the aesthetic for the TV series, because that's just the way, comics, television, very much adaptation style. Because I don't feel like a slow burn like Alien would work unless you do it like Westworld or something like that.
Yeah. You mean if they were going to do something make it more like the marine stuff with the aliens and the guns and the pulse rifles and all that? Yeah, definitely. I think I think that's what people want to see, actually. That's why there was so much interest in the whole Blomkamp idea.
There's that sort of, I guess, anticipation for what we expect, though. Do you think that people might be let down if, say, the TV series doesn't, I don't know, present the correct story or the correct characters or even the correct technology?
I would really love if the show had kind of the feel of Isolation, that kind of retro technology that we saw in the old movie too.
Yeah. Cassette futurism is the aesthetic.
Yeah, I'd love to see that in live action.
Yeah, I don't even know whether they'd be able to find the stuff. They'd have to 3D print everything again, which is kind of funny. But yeah, that would be really cool. If the TV series were to, we don't even know it's a prequel or a sequel or whatever, would you like it to feature a character from one of the movies before they met their timely end?
No, probably not. It would be cool if they use some of the characters from the comics or something, Zula Hendrix would be really cool to see in live action.
Oh, yeah, that would be really awesome. And the fact that Alien Isolation is going to be doing a crossover with Defiance and doing Aliens Resistance. What did you think about that announcement when that came out?
That's really cool. There's definitely, it seems like, we're talking about how there's not really movies or anything, but there seems to be a lot of literature or expanded media stuff. I know they're working on the Isolation novel that's coming out soon too, right?
Yeah, that's right. Keith's working on that currently. I don't know whether that's an adaptation of the game or it's supposed to be maybe from the point of view of someone who was there during the fall of the station. So yeah, I'm not sure. I think he said something along the lines of Amanda versing xenomorphs. So perhaps it's exactly the game Alien Isolation. So it'd be interesting to see how they tackle that with all the very expendable characters that she encounters.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be like more stuff in there to like pad it out or expand on stuff.
Yeah, there's some really great stuff in the viral media as well that they had interweaved into that game. Mike Tanaka, have you seen that sort of stuff?
I don't think I have.
So there's this Twitter account. They created a character in universe, and he tweeted the entire fall of the station, and then you come across his body in game. So it's kind of like a little addition, a little Easter egg, which you can kind of enjoy. They even got an artist to kind of illustrate in character of that person, to kind of even draw pictures of the xenomorph, how someone would draw a xenomorph if they were in a stressful situation where people were dying around them and then they caught a glimpse. So it's really immersive. I'll forward you the link to that. It's really cool.
Interesting. Yeah, that sounds cool.
But I think it would be even interesting to follow a character if they were to do a prequel novel like that as well.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything else that's going to be coming out for announcements next year? Confirmed or unconfirmed? Or yes,
no.
Yes, you can't tell me?
No. I'm gonna say no comment.
No comment? Alright, that's fair enough. Don't want to get in trouble. Is there anything else that you've been interested in, not alien related, that you've come across that you're kind of anticipating the release of or something?
I'm definitely looking forward to whatever happens with the Starship Troopers thing that they're working on. I know they're doing some sort of like a reboot or something. That's another franchise that I'm really, a big fan of. I think I love those movies and stuff, and I think it's at Sony right now, and they're working on the script, so hopefully that comes to fruition. And besides that, I'd probably have to say I'm interested in the whole Godzilla stuff that's going on right now, the Monsterverse and all that.
Yeah, I've been trying to keep up with that because they seem like they've got a whole slew of movies prepared. They're kind of like chucking a Marvel and having everything ready for this just movie after movie. So that's going to be interesting. And I really, really love Starship Troopers. I love the first one. Sorry. The other, is it 2 or 3 of them? There was like...
I think there were 2 more live-action ones, and then they did a couple animated ones.
Yeah, that's right. They were subpar. They were kind of the straight-to-the-video sort of trying to cash in. But people can't do that these days. Not really. Unless they go directly to a streaming service, and it kind of ends up being one of those things you just sit on the couch and watch. But I really, really love how larger-than-life the first Starship Troopers was. I really wanted a cinematic viewing. But if they're going to reboot it into a TV series or even a cartoon, I don't know. I don't know whether I'd be invested in it.
Yeah, it's I'm just hoping that they do it properly, because there's been rumors that they're trying to make the new film like PG-13 and kind of make it more just more mainstream or something. I'm like, no, please don't.
They tried doing that with Pacific Rim. It did not work.
Yeah.
And I really loved the first movie, but that's a credit to Guillermo del Toro. He's a good director, and with the right story in his hand, he's good at creating universes.
Yeah.
So, I think that's it. Is there anything else you'd like to ask me while we're having a chat?
Actually, one thing I am interested in is the whole Odd Studio thing, the tour that you went on. Oh,
yeah. Those guys are great. What would you like to ask about it?
How did that come about, and what was that whole experience like?
Okay. Well, J.M. Prater from the Perfect Organism podcast had organised with Odd Studio, Adam Johansson and Damien Martin, to have a podcast interview. And soon after that interview, I saw that Matt Hatton and Dane Hallett were going to be at Supernova promoting their David's Drawings book. So I told Adam that I was going to be in Sydney for the weekend and asked if I could stop by the studio and have a look around and talk to him about the movie. And he's like, sure, coming in. And I went there. I got to see everything from the movie, hold some props. He was really cool, letting me geek out and take some photos of me while I was holding the Overmorph. And he showed me the chest burster and the Neomorph, like the electronic one, and the busts that they made for Sideshow as well, which was really amazing. And yeah, it's just with Aussies in general, they're very relaxed, very welcoming. And the same with Dane Hallett and Matt Hatton, when I went to see them at Supernova. They were great. They did their panel, and then they hung out with me at the convention. We walked around, we talked figures and different franchises we like and stuff we like about the Alien universe. Then we went out for Korean fried chicken and beer, and then Dane dropped me back at my apartment. So yeah.
Wow, you got like
cool.
a whole VIP thing with them. Damn.
It
Like spent a day with the concept artists. Jeez.
Yeah, it was really cool. They were just so nice. And I got to do the studio tour on the Friday, and then the Saturday I spent the day with Matt and Dane. And then the Sunday I just chilled out and then flew back home to Melbourne. So yeah, I didn't get charged anything extra. They were just very generous with their time. They're lovely people.
I think they were at San Diego Comic-Con this year. I wasn't able to meet them because I was kind of busy at the show, but I did want to meet them. It's kind of a shame they're promoting the David's drawing book, I think, too.
Yeah, and I don't know whether they'll be able to get out there again because they're quite busy at the moment on some projects that I'm not at liberty to talk about.
Alien.
No. Dane's. I can talk about this current one that Dane's working on, and he's doing a set of movies for Crypt TV, and he's been writing and directing his own short movie called Rancor, which I'm quite excited to watch. It's currently filming. As soon as that's out, I'll share it on the blog as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, it was very, very nice. And have you had a chance to go to any other special effects studios yourself?
I have not. I know that Studio ADI is like 15 minutes away from me. They're up in Chatsworth, I think. And I know Rigstop from AVP Galaxy got to kind of go down and interview them. So I mean, I guess I'd have to just reach out to them. I know they like follow us on Twitter and stuff, but that'd be kind of cool to go check out the ADI studio. Yeah,
and I think they've got an exhibition on currently as well because they've been around for a long time. So I think it's like 35th anniversary or 30th anniversary exhibition. Yeah, so you should definitely get in touch with them, and then I can be fawning over your photos and your interviews with them. That'll be cool. All right. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. We've been planning it forever, but I would love to be able to chat to you again if some news comes out. Would you like to do that?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome stuff. Thank you so much, Nick.
Yes.
Okay, so this is Nick and Mother signing off.
This is Colony Ship Covenant reporting. All crew members apart from Daniels in Tennessee tragically perished in a solar flare incident. All colonists in hypersleep remain intact and undisturbed, on course for Orgai 6. Hopefully this transmission will reach the network and be relayed 6 years.
You can now support Yutani Podcast on Patreon and subscribe to yutani.blog to stay up to date.